Mick Ralphs was born in Herefordshire, England, in 1944. From a young age, he felt a deep connection to music. The sounds of early rock and roll filled his world. He picked up a guitar and quickly discovered he had a natural talent for it. His fingers learned to find the right notes, creating simple but powerful melodies. This love for the guitar would define his entire life and shape the sound of rock music for decades to come. He wasn't just playing an instrument. He was finding his voice. A voice that would soon be heard by millions of people all around the globe. His journey started quietly in the English countryside, but it was destined for the bright lights of the world's biggest stages. As a young man, Mick played in different bands, honing his skills and developing his unique style. He learned how to craft a song, not just play a solo. In 1969, his musical path took a major turn. He helped start a new band called Mott the Hoople. This group was different. They had a special energy and a sound that blended hard rock with a touch of glam. Mick was a key part of this sound. His guitar work was strong and memorable, providing the backbone for the band's songs. He was not just the guitarist. He was a songwriter who helped create the band's identity from the very beginning. Mott the Hoople worked hard to make a name for themselves. Mick wrote important songs for the band, including Rock and Roll Queen and One of the Boys. These tracks showed his ability to write catchy, powerful rock anthems. The band built a loyal following with their energetic live shows and solid albums. They were on the verge of breaking up when a famous fan stepped in to help. David Bowie, a huge admirer of the band, offered them a song he had written. That song was All the Young Dudes, and it became a massive hit in 1972, saving the band and making them famous. Even with the success of All the Young Dudes, Mick felt a pull in a different direction. He was writing songs that were heavier and more blues-based, like Ready for Love. He felt these songs didn't quite fit the glam rock style of Mott the Hoople. He wanted to explore a more stripped-down, powerful rock sound. This creative difference was not a sign of conflict, but of artistic growth. Mick knew he had to follow his own musical instincts. In 1973, after helping Mott the Hoople achieve international fame, he made the difficult decision to leave the band and start something new, chasing a sound he heard in his head. After leaving Mott the Hoople, Mick Ralphs knew exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to form a supergroup, a band made up of talented musicians who shared his vision for a raw, blues-infused rock sound. He didn't have to look far. He joined forces with Paul Rodgers, the powerhouse vocalist from the band Free. Paul's incredible voice was the perfect match for Mick's guitar riffs. They also recruited Free's drummer, the steady and powerful Simon Kirk. To complete the lineup, they brought in Boz Burrell, the skilled bassist from the progressive rock band King Crimson. Together, they called themselves Bad Company. The new band had an incredible chemistry from the very start. They were all seasoned musicians who knew how to work together. They were quickly signed to Led Zeppelin's new record label, Swan Song Records, and were managed by the legendary Peter Grant. This was a huge vote of confidence. Being the first band signed to this label meant that some of the biggest names in rock believed in them. Bad Company went into the studio to record their first album. The music they created was exactly what Mick had envisioned. Straightforward, powerful, and full of soul. It was a sound that was honest and direct, with no frills. In 1974, Bad Company released their self-titled debut album. It was an instant and massive success. The album shot to the #1 spot on the Billboard charts. in the United States and became a multi-platinum seller. It was clear that the world was ready for their brand of rock and roll. The album was packed with classic songs, many of which were written by Mick. His songwriting had found the perfect home. The combination of his unforgettable riffs, Paul Rodgers' commanding vocals, and the solid rhythm section of Kirk and Burl was simply unstoppable. They had created a timeless rock masterpiece. Mick Ralphs was the creative force behind many of the band's biggest hits from that first album. He wrote the electrifying opening track, Can't Get Enough, which became a top 5 single and a rock radio anthem that is still played today. He also penned the driving rocker, Movin' On. He even brought over his song, Ready for Love, which he had written while in Mott the Hoople, and the band transformed it into a Bad Company classic. Drop your favorite Bad Company song in the comments. Mick's ability to write simple, catchy, and powerful guitar riffs was his signature. He wasn't just a great player. He was a brilliant songwriter who gave Bad Company its defining sound. Following the incredible success of their debut, Bad Company became one of the biggest bands of the 1970s. They were true rock superstars, selling out arenas and stadiums all over the world. Their music was the soundtrack for a generation. Mick Ralphs continued to be a central part of their success, co-writing another one of their most famous songs, Feel Like Makin' Love, with Paul Rodgers. This track, with its explosive electric chorus, showed the band's dynamic range. Mick's guitar work was always at the heart of their sound, providing the solid foundation for every hit and every live performance. The band released a string of successful albums and songs like Rock and Roll Fantasy, which further cemented their place in rock history. Mick's guitar style was influential. He wasn't flashy, but his playing was full of taste, tone, and power. He knew that a simple, heavy riff could be more effective than 1,000 fast notes. This approach inspired countless guitarists who followed him. Bad Company's music was pure and powerful, and Mick's songwriting and guitar playing were the essential ingredients that made it all work so perfectly. They defined the sound of 1970s arena rock. Mick's contributions to music were officially recognized many years later, when, in April 2025, Bad Company was announced as an inductee for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2025. This was a fitting tribute to his incredible career, acknowledging his immense impact with one of Britain's most important rock bands. Sadly, Mick's health began to decline in his later years. After a Bad Company reunion tour, he suffered a major stroke in November 2016. The stroke was severe, leaving him with significant health challenges. His final performance on stage had been just days earlier, at London's O2 Arena. The stroke forced him to retire from touring and recording, ending his long and storied career in music. Though he could no longer play for the crowds that adored him, his music continued to live on, played on radios and in homes around the world. A permanent legacy of his immense talent. Mick Ralphs spent his final years quietly, away from the public eye, cared for by his loved ones. The rock and roll life was behind him, but the music he created was eternal. On June 23, 2025, the music world fell silent as the news broke that Mick Ralphs had passed away at the age of 81. He was survived by his beloved partner, Susie Shavas, his 2 children, and 3 stepchildren, though his passing was a moment of great sadness. It was also a time to celebrate the incredible life he lived and the powerful music he left behind for everyone to enjoy forever. The news of his death brought an outpouring of love and respect from friends, fans, and fellow musicians. His bandmates from Bad Company shared their heartbreak. Paul Rodgers, his longtime songwriting partner, called him a friend and an amazing guitarist with a great sense of humor. He wrote, "Our Mick has passed, my heart just hit the ground." Drummer Simon Kierke remembered him as a dear friend, a wonderful songwriter, and an exceptional guitarist. These tributes painted a picture of a man who was not only a gifted artist but also a cherished friend who would be deeply missed by those who knew him best. Mick Ralphs will always be remembered as a true rock legend. He was a master of the riff, a songwriter who could craft a perfect rock anthem, and a guitarist whose style was built on power and feeling. From his early days with Mott the Hoople to his global stardom with Bad Company, his musical journey was remarkable. He co-founded 2 legendary bands and wrote songs that have stood the test of time. His music connected with millions of people because it was honest, direct, and came straight from the heart. His sound helped define an entire era of rock music. The legacy of Mick Ralphs lives on in the chords of "Can't Get Enough," the melody of "Feel Like Makin' Love," and the spirit of "All the Young Dudes." His music will continue to inspire new generations of guitarists and rock fans. He was a humble giant of rock, a man whose focus was always on the song. He may have played his final chord, but his music will never fade away. It will continue to be played loud and proud, a lasting testament to a brilliant musician who gave the world the timeless gift of rock and roll. Find and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.